When Adam Smith brewed The Wealth of Nations in Scotland, he would never have thought of it. In the Far East, a Ming official born on Hainan Island, an equally profound economic thought system has already been built. Its core moving parts are nearly 300 years earlier than those in the West. He is the top official of the Ming Dynasty, a masterpiece of thought, Qiu Jun. What is even more amazing is that the light of his wisdom even penetrates time and space. It was highly praised by the revolutionary mentor Lenin. He was called the most outstanding figure in China in the 15th century, with the greatest economic thinker of mankind in the Middle Ages. Let's uncover this quill today. The wealth of the Orient, temporarily covered by historical dust. Discussion. The fields of the wealthy are connected to the fields. The poor have no place to stand. How ruthless was the land annexation in the middle of the Ming Dynasty? There are many local tyrants who run horses. The poor man's land is not as big as a slab. The foundation of the empire is unstable. At this time, Qiu Jun was like the holy hand of a country. He hit the nail on the head and prescribed a method of filling with D-lines. This is the closest plan to land reform in ancient China, and the government took action. Strong peak shaving and valley filling. Treasure rice bowl. Stabilize the granary. At that time, a 10-year pilot project was carried out in the Jinxiang area. As a result, the cultivated land increased by nearly half. Tax grain is directly doubled, although it was not promoted nationwide later. But this set of meteors that cut through the darkness illuminated the iron law. Only when the land is fair can the dynasty continue its life. When the whole country is still spinning on the old road where farming is the king, Qiu Jun shouted that doing business is the lifeblood of the country. More than 500 years ago, it was really earth-shattering. He angrily sprayed the government for monopolizing salt and iron tea and was holding a golden rice bowl to ask for food. Support it. Listen to the people's own market, and let the market have the final say. Merchants operate with certificates, pay taxes in accordance with the law, and compete fairly. He is more radical in border trade related to the country. Revoke the monopoly institution, chamas. Release the vitality of the people. This combination of breaking monopolies, decentralizing the market, and strengthening supervision. More than 500 years ago, the core laws of the free market economy were accurately predicted. The Ming Dynasty's treasure banknotes turned into waste paper. Imperial credit collapsed. Qiu Jun had long prophesied. The check is not creditworthy. A collapse is inevitable. The three-currency scheme he designed shines with the monetary wisdom of the times. Silver is the anchor, and the national reserve is the needle of the sea. Banknotes circulated, guaranteed by the government. Large amount and convenience. Copper coin assistance. Daily small amount. Solid foundation. The state has set up a silver and money exchange bureau to flexibly adjust, and the three currencies are like blood connections. Continuous growth. This set is based on silver. The system of market regulation. Strive to save money and curb inflation, a full century ahead of its European counterparts. Where does the value of goods come from? Qiu Jun gave an answer that transcended the times in his college romance. This is also the ideological core that Lenin admired. He profoundly pointed out that although things in the world are born in heaven and earth, however, all of them must be supported by human resources to achieve their effectiveness. The body has a large and small size, a depth of work, and a certain price. This means that all wealth comes from nature, but value must be created through human labor. The depth of labor input directly determines the value of the commodity. This set of discourse on labor determining value. It is nearly 200 years earlier than the similar view of William Pidy, the founder of British classical economics. It is a well-deserved contribution to the world of thought. The treasury is almost empty. The fiscal deficit is shocking. Qiu Jun broke the situation with a very forward-looking financial system. He pioneered the 3-year accommodative reserve system. The core is to live within one's means and establish fiscal wisdom to adjust reserves across years. This emphasizes the concept of medium and long-term planning of national finance. The prototype of the modern budget system was established by the British through the Bill of Rights about 2 centuries earlier. And he proposed, it may be necessary to clearly determine the 4 principles of taxation that facilitate and fair taxation. Its spiritual core is more than 300 years later. Adam Smith established the 4 principles of taxation in the wealth of nations. It has formed a profound cross-time and spatial resonance. However, this pearl of thought, hundreds of years ahead, has been dusted for a long time. His doctrine was denounced by contemporaries as a demonic and confusing country. The compiler of the Ming Dynasty's 4 libraries also criticized its fallacy. It was not until modern times that he was overthrown by Liang Qikao, Zhao Jun and other scholars rediscovered, and its light was finally presented. This history is Qiu Jun's personal loneliness. It is also a profound aphasia in the global narrative of Eastern economic thought. Today, I reread Qiu Jun. We are not only filling in the lost key chapter in the history of global economic thought, it is also looking for ancient wisdom for contemporary development. He senses the crisis, the philosophy of balance in the national dimension, the open spirit of listening to the people's own will, as well as the profound revelation of the value created by labor. After more than 500 years, it still shines brightly. From the grand idea of this Hainan sage to this day, the practice of Hainan Free Trade Port construction, echoes of history so clear. Qiu Jun used his life to prove the greatest economic insight. It always stems from a deep understanding of people's livelihood and the most sincere responsibility for the fate of the family and country.